Hello everyone, this is Melissa the Stamp Doc. Today I'm going to share with you one of my favorite new products from the Stampin' Up! Annual Catalog, the Give It a Whirl dies. I used it on these two cards, which I've already shared on my blog. These feature the Stellar Birthday stamp set also. I've shared the tutorial for how to make the galaxy background in an earlier video, and I will link it at the end of this video. But how these work is they have a little spinner wheel, a reveal wheel here at the side, and you just spin that, and as you spin it, it has a new greeting in each window for you. So I did each one a little bit different. And here's this one. I used the little rocket ship on there, and the little "You Are Out of This World." Okay, so let me share the dies with you. First of all, you're going to be able to find those on page 163 of the annual catalog. This is them right here. So this is really the only picture of them in the catalog. The other mention of them in the catalog is on page 57, where you'll find that Stellar Birthday stamp set. Here are my dies on my magnetic sheet, so you can see there's a lot of different pieces with this. I'm going to set this aside so you can see what it actually cuts out. So for each card, you're going to have that card front. Now, normally this little hole doesn't punch out, but because I didn't put a window in there, it did punch out on this one. Then you have your wheel, and then you have all of these great little elements. So you've got this little scallop, some clouds, arrows, a few little circles, and some stars, hearts, and a little label. And I used most of these on some of the card samples that I'll share with you today. The other thing that isn't pictured on here, but I'm going to bring it into the picture, is these are the windows that you can cut into this piece. And because of the design of this die, you can place those anywhere you like, pretty much, on that front panel. So I'll show you one where I actually moved it to the bottom, but you can move it even over to the side, like in this sample here. So this is a good little thing to go ahead and cut this out and keep that handy. So let me show you this really quick. So this is that front panel piece, and this is the back side, and then you turn that over when you run it through the machine. But all of these little window pieces also have this little circle, and that just attaches right on there. And then holding that in place, you're going to run that through your Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, and that will create that little window for you. So you have 4 window pieces. So these are the 4 shapes that you can use, that you can fit those in there. The other thing, and it may be hard to see on the video, but there are some little, I guess you'd call them debossed arrows that you can use for your spinner reel too. I've just been using the little tiny arrows myself. So let me put that aside, and I'll show you why you might want to use this, or even just grab your little template here. So once I kind of played around with these a little bit, I started wondering what other stamp sets I could use. And I stumbled on the Nothing's Better Than. And I just used my little template to see what will fit in that window. So I can use that to determine what I want to add. And the fun thing is I've been doing this, there's so many stamp sets that will work within these windows that you've got just a ton of possibilities. So this is going to be a lot of fun. I think we're going to see some amazing samples with it. I am going to put one together so you can see, but let me bring another sample in. This one is from that Nothing's Better Than, and again, you just spin that wheel and you've got all those great little treats. So I think this one's my favorite just because I love chocolate and coffee and cookies, so this is just a perfect little card for me. So that one's really cute. Now to put these together, you're going to also need some brads. You'll need to go ahead and cut out your circle, and I'm going to show you a little tip for stamping on your circle. So it's probably a little hard to see. I noticed when I did this on black cardstock, it was easier to see, but there are some little embossed lines. It kind of looks like a peace sign when you have it in place. But I recommend that until you get comfortable with the placement and where to stamp and where to position your wheel, that you just do some light pencil lines on those interior places. And that way you're going to know exactly where you can stamp your image. So the scallop part really doesn't show. You want to stay really within that embossed area. So you could stamp anything you wanted in that. Now, if you're using the circles or another one, so for example, if I was using this one right here, it's a little bit more narrow. So I would put it over that circle, center it within that, and I would trace that out so that I knew exactly where to place those at. So again, you can use those as a guide for doing that. Now, I think there are no instructions with this, so I really had to kind of come up with it on my own and just from some similar dies that I've seen. I think it is meant for you to go ahead and punch that hole, put that there, and put your brad there. But I found another way, because I didn't want a brad in the middle of my card each time. So I found another way, and it actually helps the card spin a lot better. So I'm going to just show you my technique. And if you come up with something better that works for you, that's great too. There's really no wrong way as long as they work. So I'm going to bring in my wheel that I've already stamped. And I have a little circle here. So whatever I take out of the window, so if I've done a circle window, I just use the circle that comes out of that. So I'm going to grab a little tiny, the brads are all sticking together. It really doesn't matter which brad you use. So I'm going to use this square one. And I'm going to put it through there. And then I'm going to put, and I just punched a hole in the center of that. And I leave my brad kind of loose. So I hope you can see that there. And then I am going to add just 2 dimensionals on each side of those brad prongs. I'm going to go ahead and peel those off. And then I've already decorated my cover piece. So this piece was Designer Series paper. It is the Pattern Party from the Hostess Rewards. And so I love this paper. You've seen me use it on a lot of different things already. But I'm just going to center that up. Now, the reason why I told you to do those pencil lines, so let me see if I can grab that one back in here. If you've done those pencil lines, you'll be able to see, especially if you drew like a circle on here or other shape, exactly where you need to put that to line it up. So I recommend you do the wedge shape as your first card, and that way you can line it up with those angles there. And then there is that little dot underneath if you want to poke it all the way through. But like I said, I didn't want to do that. So I'm going to line this up. And I've got all my little images there. I'm just going to get that centered and over. Okay. And I have that ready. And then this is my card base. I'm going to go ahead and put that, line it up there. And if I would still have some pencil marks, I would go ahead and erase those at this time. But as you can see, this spins really, really easily. It's going to slow down a little bit once I put the top piece on, but by putting that extra circle on the back and putting my dimensionals on that, instead of connecting it directly to the card front, it spins so much nicer. So I'm just putting dimensionals on the back piece of that front panel. I'll get those on there. And I still have a few other samples to share with you also. And then I can just come back on here. And let's see, I want to move him over a little bit more. There we go. And we have a cute little turtle birthday card. So So I think the little turtles are adorable. This one's called Turtle Friends, and it comes with a punch also. So this is another one that I did. I've already shared this one on my Instagram, and it was very popular. Now this one, I actually did the circle upside down in the lower part of the card. What that did to this is I actually had to stamp my images in a different direction. So you'll want to pay attention to that. But as I turn this, you get a different little creature peeking out of the tree. So I just thought that was adorable. And then I did one other one here with the Hey Girlfriend stamp set. And just did a few of those. Now on this one, my hole here really showed, so I just added a few of those die cut clouds that come from that die cut set and a little heart also. But another just really fun little card. So like I said, I've made quite a few of these. I've already made, what, 6 here. Oh my gosh. So I'll be sharing these on my blog over the next week. So feel free to check those out if you want the supply list. And hopefully that made sense and made it a little easier to figure out. Like I said, if you purchase that die set, it was surprising to me. There weren't any instructions and there weren't very many samples available. So hopefully this is helpful for you to make these. So if you make them, let me know. I'd love to hear what you think in the comments. Thank you so much for watching today, and I hope that you'll subscribe for future videos. Take care.